Me. Just you and I on here.
Hello.
Hi, Danielle. We
How
have
are
a
you?
few people. Good. How are you?
Good.
We have a few attendees joined so far, but we'll give them until maybe 1:03, 1:05 to get started.
Okay, sounds
But
good.
feel free to start sharing your screen if you have like a title page you'd like to
Oh
showcase.
yeah, I can do that. Let's see.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Mm, let's let me know if it. Hold on, let me try to pull it up. Not that one. This one. Is it showing?
Yes, that's perfect.
Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, everyone. We have a few individuals joining so far. Feel free to put your name and the organization that you're with in the chat, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Please put your name and the organization that you're with in the chat, and we'll get started in just a few minutes. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you haven't already, please put your name and the organization that you're with in the chat. We'll be getting started in about 3 minutes. Thank you. Okay, Danielle, the entrances have been pretty steady. If you want to go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining. If you haven't already, please put your name and the organization you're with in the chat. Today we're going to be hearing from Dr. Danielle Clark. She'll be doing the presentation. So Danielle, go ahead and get started. If there's any questions throughout the webinar, feel free to either put them in the chat, use the Q&A feature, and then we'll have an opportunity at the end for you to unmute and ask questions. So go ahead and use the raise hand feature for that when it comes time for the Q&A. Danielle, go ahead and get started. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much, our friends at Amity, for having JCOD come and present to you all about our Incubation Academy program. As Ariel said, my name is Dr. Danielle Clark, and I currently serve as the Justice Program Senior Analyst that manages the Incubation Academy program. So today, this is just a quick agenda to tell you about all the things that we'll go over. So we'll do a little welcome, which I just did. We'll talk about who JCOD is, which hopefully you all know since you all are CFCI grantees. A little program overview and expectations, how to apply to our program, what's next. I'll go over some frequently asked questions, and then we've saved 20 minutes at the end for you all to ask any questions that you may have that I may not have covered during this presentation. So first of all, who is JCOD? So again, you all should know who JCOD is because you are CFCI grantees. But JCOD cultivates a person-centered, coordinated continuum of care for vulnerable, justice-impacted individuals in their communities. It is made up of dedicated county staff that partner with community leaders and systems change advocates who believe that public safety starts with care, not punishment. For the Justice Care and Opportunities Department Incubation Academy program. It was created to support organizations like yourselves that focus on fairness, are rooted in communities serving system impacted populations, and driving forward meaningful change. As you all know, our director of JCOD is Judge Songhai Armstead. And she really started both JCOD and Incubation Academy program because she saw a lot of influx coming in and out of her her doors when she was sitting on the bench. And so Incubation Academy is just one portion of what JCOD does to really help community. We are a program that really supports grassroots organizations. Most of them who created the organization because they are a part of the community that they want change in. They are a relative of someone who may have gone through certain things, or because it's just a part of their passion. The one thing that a lot of individuals forget about when it comes to creating nonprofits is that a nonprofit is still a business. And so the main purpose of the Incubation Academy is that we help nonprofit organizations keep their doors open, get a better foundation of their infrastructure so that they can better support the communities that they desire to serve. As a government entity, as a government agency, we can only do so much. So we really do rely on the community partners, the community advocates, and the community leaders to really be the ones to have their boots on the ground and do the work, to have their fingers on the pulse of everything that's happening. And so for us to be able to, be a resource to them is what we really are about. And so that is the gist of the Incubation Academy program. So meet the team. So as I said, Judge Songhai Armstead is director of JCOD. We also have Gina Inkes, who is the senior deputy director, Brenda Duran, who is director of external relations, Christopher Kim, who is the senior public information specialist, myself as the justice program senior analyst, Amber Aldridge, who is the justice program analyst, Avi Benar as our public information officer, Leslie Lira as our supervising community health worker, and then Amy Wang as our graphic designer. So let's talk about the JCOD Incubation Academy program. We support 501c3 or faith-based organizations in a 12-week, which is about 3 months worth of a program. In this program, we're teaching you everything from board governance. We're teaching you grant writing. We're teaching you marketing and storytelling and branding. We're also teaching you organizational wellness or data and program evaluation, et cetera, within this 12 months. Majority of the program is remote because, as you know, we support all of LA County, which is 88 cities. We do not want to have to ask everyone to always meet in person because you're becoming from so many different parts of our county. So out of the 12 weeks, 9 of those sessions are virtual via Zoom with our partners with Impact Heal. And then 3 of those sessions will be in person. The in-person sessions will be your first session, which is your launch/orientation. The second session that is in person will be your organizational wellness session, which is, I believe, session number 6, so it's midway. And then your last session that is in person is technically your graduation. So past graduates have been able to receive a capacity building grant of upwards of $40,000, executive coaching, which is 6 months of one-on-one support from an executive coach. So what that means is that you graduate from our program, which is 12 weeks. Right after you graduate, you get an executive coach for 6 months. And during that time, you also receive your capacity building grant. While you have your executive coach, you use them to help you really solidify certain things within your organization that is niche to you, right? So if you think about the 12-week training, the 12-week, you're in a cohort setting, right? We have organizations, it's about 25 to 30 organizations in each cohort, and you are working through this program together. But we know that each organization has their own specific needs or specific areas of support. So that's why for 6 months, we will give you an executive coach that will help you with those specific needs and help you best utilize your capacity building grant at the same time. The great thing also with our program is that, yes, the program is 12 weeks, but we also support you with up to a year of technical assistance post those 12 weeks, and then also peer advising and a lifetime support of resources. So once you graduate from our program, you are embedded into our alumni network. And so basically, once you are a part of the JCOD family, you are a part of the JCOD family for life. So let's just give you a little background of the people that have graduated so far. So we have successfully graduated 10 cohorts, and we have just launched cohort 11. From those 10 cohorts, 249 organizations are represented, and roughly $120 million has been given out to these organizations, whether it's from capacity building grants, county contracts, or CFCI grants. So, what does commitment look like as a participant? You must attend um, the sessions, right? You are not allowed to miss more than 3 sessions of the program. If you miss more than 3 sessions, you will unfortunately have to be removed from the program, which means you will no longer be eligible for access to JCOD funded resources, including grants and coaching. That does not mean you can't reapply, but it does mean that you can't finish the current cohort that you was accepted in. You are also required to complete all forms, assignments, or homework that comes with the program. So the way that it's set up is that our sessions are Wednesday nights from 4 to 6 p.m. mandatory. And then on Thursdays, we have labs that are attached to your Wednesday sessions. Some of those labs are mandatory to attend. So if you miss any of the mandatory Thursday sessions, those will also count as an absence. Not all of your Thursday sessions are mandatory, so just know that it is clearly noted what sessions are mandatory, and those are what's going to compile basically at the end a portfolio for you to have something tangible at the end of your program. This is just an example of what your program calendar will look like. So everything in like that light tan session or light tan color are your actual sessions. Anything in sort of the dark sort of peach color, those are more so like the focus groups. And so like our partners at Impact Heal, they do assessments, a pre, mid, and post just to capture how you all are feeling about the program so that we can continue to adjust in real time. And then at the end, when we're planning for the next cohort, we take those adjustments, or we take those suggestions from you all seriously, and we add them into our next cohort. And then everything in the yellow color, those are the mandatory labs that go with your Wednesday sessions. So what is next? So the most important thing is to start prepping today. There are a few things that is required in order to get into our program. One, you have to be an LA County registered 501c3 organization or faith-based organization. If you are not based in LA County, if you are not a faith-based organization, or if you do not have your 501c3 designation, then we will not be able to accept you into the program. So if you do want to be an Incubation Academy and you do not have those steps yet, I would recommend starting that process so that you can apply for the program. Our next application cycle for cohort 12 opens on March 12th, and that deadline is until April 10th. And then the process that happens after that is once the application deadline closes, we look at all the applications. It's internally, we look at it, and we also have our partners at Impact Hill look at each application. We have a rubric that we use to score each application. And then from there, if you meet the threshold, we then ask individuals to have interviews. Those are also virtual. Those interviews help us understand if you're a good fit for the program at this time. And also, please remember that since we only accept 25 to 30 cohorts organizations, each cohort spaces are limited. So if a person, makes it to the interview phase but doesn't get accepted into the program, it's not because you weren't ready. It's just that we don't have enough slots. And so then we do encourage you to apply again. The program start date, the next cohort for cohort 12 will be on May 27th, 2026. And please note, like I said, spots into the JCOD Incubation Academy program are limited. We don't go more than 30, but we try to keep it at 25, which is 5 orgs per supervisorial district to keep it even and equitable across our county. But always thank you for your interest in the program. And we really do, the main focus of the IA program is that we want to build together. So this is the part where I think that we will spend some time because I know that there are a lot of questions that people ask. So I thought of some frequently asked questions. And so let's talk about them. So what is the JCOD Incubation Academy program? We talked about that a little bit before. It is a program that supports grassroots 501c3 or faith-based organizations across LA County, so all 88 cities. And our goal is to really help these nonprofits build that infrastructure so that they can keep their doors open to continue to do the amazing work that the communities deserve. Who qualifies to be a part of the JCOD Incubation Academy program? LA County based organizations that are registered, and we check that by looking through the IRS website. Every organization that has a 501c3 status is registered through the IRS. So we will know if your organization is actually a registered entity. And then again, LA County 501c3 faith-based. And then there are some orgs that, are fairly new. We don't disqualify orgs that are fairly new. But if you are less than a year old, orgs that typically have a little bit more years, like at least 1 year solid of being an entity, will probably have a better chance of getting in. Orgs that may be too new, a lot of times we may refer them to our From Vision to Reality program, which is pretty much like a pre-incubator program to help either newer organizations or individuals who want to start a nonprofit organization. And if you have questions about our From Vision to Reality program, I'm more than happy to answer those as well. If I do not have a 501c3 organization, how do I get started? We are more than happy to send you the process for that. But you can do all that through the IRS website. But also, we teach that in our From Vision to Reality program as well. How many people do you accept into the JCOD Incubation Academy program? We accept 25 to 30 organizations. And because we do not want individuals to feel as if they have to go through this alone, each organization, they're able to have up to 3 people represent their organization, just so that there's multiple people within your organization that are getting this information so that you can spread this information within your organization. If I have applied before and didn't get in, can I reapply? 100%. Please reapply. One, because like you never know when your number is going to get called. 2, we continuously make updates and iterations to our application to make it better and more accessible and more fair for applicants. So just because you didn't get in last time doesn't you're not going to get in this time. But also, if you didn't get in, please reach out to us so that we can help you make your application better. We offer that to individuals. We always send out the opportunity that if you did not get accepted, please let us know. we will happily open up your application and walk through it with you to give you a better understanding of why you didn't get in so that you have a better chance of getting in next time. If I have been a part of the program before and have joined or started a new organization, can I participate again? This is an interesting question. If you've already been a part of the program, that same organization that you was with cannot reapply. So once you've already been a part of it, you're in it for life essentially. So you can't reapply to try to go through the whole thing all over again. However, let's say you've been through it before because you were a part of an organization, but you're no longer with that organization and you're now with another organization. That organization is eligible to apply. Um, if my organization is not within LA County, can I still participate? No, unfortunately, you cannot. If I am fiscally sponsored, can I participate? Unfortunately, no, you cannot. For multiple reasons. The main one is because for fiscally sponsored organizations, our goal is to make sure that the organization that's actually doing the work is the organization that's getting the full capacity building grant. When you have a fiscal sponsor, a part of your funds has to go to the fiscal sponsor, which now leaves your ability of capacity building a little less than it was before. So because of that, we do not allow fiscally sponsored organizations through our program. Do you have a wait list? If so, how do we know if we are on it? We do have a wait list. So we started one recently. So after cohort 10, no, after cohort 11 application closed, we created a wait list. So individuals can, if you're interested in joining the program, you can sign up for that. And then once the application opens on March 4th, anyone who's on that list will be sent the application so you won't miss out on that. But also, if you're not on that wait list, you will still get the application if you follow us on any of our social media platforms, which is at LACJCOD. That's our handle on all platforms. And so it will go out on there. But also, if you are signed up for our newsletter, you will also learn about when the application opens and how to apply because we put that information out there as well. I have been denied before. Whom can I talk to about my application? The Incubation Academy team. So the best bet is to email incubationacademy@jcod.lacounty.com. That's not true. It's incubationacademy@jcod.lacounty.gov. And we will respond to you. It comes directly to us, and either myself or Amber Aldridge, who is also on this email, will respond to you. So it comes directly to the Incubation Academy team. How long does the cohort last? 12 weeks, so approximately 3 months. When is the next cohort? May 27th is when the next cohort starts. So March 4th is the application open and April 10th is the application deadline. What happens after we graduate the JCOD Incubation Academy program? Oh, so much happens. Great question. So you graduate, you get your 6 month of executive coaching, you get your capacity building grant, but also within the alumni network, it's a lot of resources. So we hold 3 alumni events a year, one of those always being a Meet the Funders event, and we bring different funders to you so that you can be in the same space with funders and be able to ask them different questions. A lot of them are super open to helping you offline. They actually encourage you to reach out to them once that session is over. We have a lot of opportunities for you to be a part of what we do at JCOD, right? So we had our summit that I hope a lot of you all came to, and a lot of organizations came and tabled at that summit and was able to bring resources to the community that we serve. And this past year we did it in Inglewood. We also have opportunities for us to partner with you for whatever you need us for. So the judge comes and speaks at things. She's done ribbon cuttings for individuals. You all have helped us with food drives, with different types of resource fairs, and stuff like that. And the great thing too is that a lot of individuals who graduated from our Incubation Academy program, they now work together to get grants together, right? And so now you're building this big community of individuals that you didn't know existed to help you in the work that you're currently doing. Is funding guaranteed if I participate? While I would love to say yes, the answer is no. And it's not because JCOD doesn't want to ensure that guaranteed is funding. That funding is guaranteed, excuse me. But the same way that a lot of you all may be struggling with funding and things being taken away, government is the same, right? JCOD is going through the same things, but we are fighting to ensure that we can receive more money and to make sure that we are able to try to help as much as we can. So each cohort is not guaranteed. We have just been able to find funding for each cohort. And we will continue to try to find funding for each cohort. But also, what that means is even if we are able to find funding, while we were able to give past cohorts $40,000, that may not be the same amount that we're able to give future cohorts. So please keep that in mind as well. And if I have specific questions, who can I reach out to for support or assistance? The same people that you can reach out to ask about your application, the Incubation Academy team, which is incubationacademy@jcod.lacounty.gov. Oops. Okay, so now we can open it up to questions from everybody else, and I will stop sharing so that you guys can see me. Okay.
Thank you so much, Danielle. I'm just going to start. There were two questions asked in the Q&A, and I want to make sure if you all are not able to see the Q&A, you see the answers to those questions. So Amber answered both of them, but I just want to read them out. So do you allow fiscally sponsored orgs into the program? This question came through before you answered, Danielle, but not anymore. Moving forward, only 501c3 and faith-based organizations can join.
Mhm.
And then someone asked, is there a minimum number of years I must be registered as an LA County organization, even if my organization has been registered in another county for 9 years? And Amber's answer was, that's a good question. There's no minimum years you have to be registered in LA County. If you're relocating to LA County, please make sure an LA County address is on your 501c3 determination letter, W-9 and 990 form if you file.
Mhm.
So there's oh, here's one more we just got through. How many team members can attend the academy if the organization is accepted?
Great question. So each organization is allowed to have three people represent them. So it can be like a board member, the director, and like a program manager or something like that. Our goal is to ensure that everyone that is a part of the program, however, is some sort of manager or higher, just because those are typically the decision makers. However, we do understand that there are some organizations that aren't structured that way. And sometimes it can be just you and administrative assistant, or just you and a board member, or simply just you. That is okay. If it is just you and an administrative assistant, we're not going to say, no, you can't have your administrative assistant join us. Because again, you need support and we want to make sure that we're here to support you. Just let us know and we'll make those accommodations on your behalf.
Thank you, Danielle. And then a question just came through. What time is the time for the Thursday lab sessions? And Ruth responded, both Wednesdays and Thursdays are from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Correct. Thank you, Ruth. Yes.
Looks like we have a couple in the chat, and then we'll go to those of you who have your hand raised. Let's see. Will we be getting an automated email in March when applications open?
That's a great question. So what we can do is, Amber, if you don't mind, can you put in the chat the sign up sheets or the interest form so that these individuals can fill that out? If you are already on our interest form, we will send you an email with the application saying like, hey, applications are now open. Please fill it out. If you aren't signed up for that or our newsletter, or you don't follow us on any of our social media, then like the only way you will know honestly is by like word of mouth. But we do post it everywhere: LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, um, anywhere you can think of, we do it, including our newsletter, our website, our JCOD website, it will be on. All the board of supervisors are also made aware of when the applications are open. So there are multiple ways for you to get this information, but you will have to be following us or be in some sort of community to know that. Also, we can send it out to Amity, and then Amity can send it out to everyone as well.
Yes, absolutely. We can do that. Where are the lab sessions posted?
The lab, so the same link that will be sent to the people once they're in the program that'll be your Wednesday sessions, that same link will get you into your Thursday session. So your labs will be virtual as well. Your labs are never in person. They're always virtual. So it'll be the same link virtual. That same link will be the same link for the whole 12-week experience.
Awesome, thank you. And then we did just send the form for the interest form in the chat to everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Amber. And then we have two individuals with their hand raised. So Caroline, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Caroline, did you have a question? Okay, we will go to Pharaoh and then, oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Caroline.
No, I think I accidentally pressed it. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. That's okay. Thank you. And then we're going to go to Pharaoh. So I will ask you to unmute. Oops. Pharaoh, did you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Awesome. Awesome. This is great that you guys are doing this. My question is, if you were part of a previous academy that wasn't with Amnesty or JCOD, can you still be qualified for this one?
Absolutely. As long as you are an LA County 501c3 status organization or faith-based organization, just because you're a part of another incubator program, you are not disqualified from this one. So please, I encourage you to apply.
That is so awesome. We're out here in the Antelope Valley where everybody forgets about us. So thank you so much.
Everybody but JCOD. JCOD hasn't forgotten about you. We even have a doors out there, so come check us out.
Oh yeah, you guys are right there. I'm one of you guys' partners. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we just got one more question in the Q&A. How long are the labs?
Um, it's 4 to 6 p.m. So it's the same way that the Wednesday night sessions are 12 weeks, the Thursday sessions are the same. They go hand in hand.
Awesome. Thank you. I see no more questions in the Q&A or in the chat. Is there anyone else who would like to unmute and ask a question? Feel free to raise your hand.
One thing I will also say, which is important, is that while we do allow 3 people to represent an organization, all 3 of you do not have to show up to each session. I want to make that clear. So that's another reason why we allow so many people to be a part or representing each org is because if one person can make it and the other 2 can't, or you all need to rotate, that is fine. Like we have your names on a roster. So as long as one of you all, show up, you're fine. Also, if there is a reason that neither of you can show up, or for example, let's say we're on the topic of fundraising, right? Because one of our sessions that we're teaching about is fundraising, and you prefer if your director of development can show up to the session instead. If you just let us know that you would like this person to come instead and give us their name, we will allow that person to join that specific class because that is a very niche topic for that person to help you with your fundraising needs. So we're very flexible about what that looks like. We just want to make sure that your org has representation. Um, I see a question that says, can you give any examples of capacity building funding line items that are not personnel related? That are not oh yeah, for sure. So for example, you can use it for a CRM. You can use it for software. You can use it for grant writing, hiring a grant writer or some consultants. You can use the capacity building for any type of professional development opportunities for you and your staff. You can also use it for professional development, like signing up for memberships. Um, you can, if you want to do something like a conference, you can use it to pay for the conference itself, but you cannot use it for transportation or hotels or anything like that. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything. I will tell you some things that you 100% can't use it for, and I'm going to say this because we have a lot of orgs that try. One, we do not allow you to use more than 50% of whatever the total is on staff. So if right now we're giving $40,000 for the grant, you cannot use more than 20K on staff. You also cannot use it on rent. You also cannot use it on transportation. You also cannot use it on devices such as computers, printers, things like that. Um, you also cannot use it like a mortgage or buying a building. You can only use it, you also cannot use it, and this part sometimes get confusing. You cannot use the funds on programmatic activities. So you can use it on like program development, but you cannot use it for anything executing a program. And if you need like more like to help you decipher the difference, let me know. But that's usually where people get sort of hung up. You can use it on marketing materials. You can use it on social media campaigns, but anything that is actually the implementation or execution of a program, you cannot use.
Thank you. Let's see, we have, unsure if it was asked, but when will we know if we were accepted within the fellowship?
Yes, so we move pretty fast, I would say. So, like, if, for example, the application deadline is April 10th, immediately for like the next week, we review all of the applications. In the following week or two, we go through and conduct interviews. And then the week after the last week of interviews is when we let individuals know. So I would say probably 3 weeks after the application deadline closes, you will know if you've gotten in or not. And then about a week or two after that, we have our virtual expectation session just to let everyone know about the expectation of the program. And it's everyone's first time to meet each other virtually, both with the JCOD side, the organizations, and our partners at Impact Heal. And then 2 weeks after that, we have our launch, which will be May 27th. And so it pretty much goes like boom, boom, boom. And so it won't take you long. And then again, if you're not accepted, we also let you know, and we give you the opportunity to reach out to us so that we can talk to you about your application and to help you try to strengthen it for next time.
Thank you. Let's see. My organization is going through an ED transition and has experienced growth. We've been around for 5 years. Would we qualify for the program?
Absolutely. And I think that your organization is a great example of organization that would do good in this program, right? Like even though you're going through transition, I think transition is probably some of the most difficult times of when organizations become a little unstable. And so what our program will help you understand is how do you still grow even though you're going through sort of some sort of like regrowth. Right. So this is where your board steps in. This is where your HR and policies need to be a little bit more formalized, like helping other people within the organization have this information will help when transition happens. And so if you're going through any type of transition and you've already been established for, you said, 5 years, do not let that deter you from applying. We welcome you, actually.
Thank you, Danielle. And then Ruth did just say in the chat that to make sure everyone knows, if you miss your email and don't interview, then that may deter the application.
Correct. So when we offer an interview to people, we only do it for a specific timeline. So we let individuals know, hey, welcome. You have been accepted to join us for an interview. Interviews will be held from this date to this date. Please respond and let us know what times work for you during this 2-week period, and then we will schedule that time. If you never respond, and please know that we do follow-up. So we typically send 3 follow-ups. So the initial one and then 2 ones after that. If you don't respond to any of those within that 2-week time frame, then we cannot interview you past that. We actually probably find another organization to replace.
Thank you, Danielle. Let's see the next questions in here. Okay, are there any guidelines on an organization's budget size? Could an organization be considered too big for this type of grant?
Mm, that is a great question. Um, and I think it's almost a difficult question to ask. Like, I don't want to say yes and I don't want to say no because all orgs are different. And just because you have funding does not mean that your infrastructure is right. So I would say the budget size does not completely like make you ineligible, right? I believe that there are and we've seen them. We've had organizations that may have received a lot of grants from different places, have contracts with different entities, but their inside of their infrastructure needs a lot of support. They still don't have a well-oiled board. They still don't understand like the data evaluation component. They're still experiencing an immense amount of burnout. So I would say no, it does not deter you. But what I will say is that in the application, we have a lot of open-ended questions. When we're asking you why you want to join this program, and this is probably one of the things that I should have mentioned before, be honest. Like, if you need help, tell us. If you do not know what you're doing, tell us. If you're experiencing growth to the point that you don't know what to do with it, tell us. Like, we can't know if you're a right fit if you're trying to be vague in your application. Take the time, fill out each of the questions as honest um, and authentically as you can. And if you have questions and need help with filling out your application, ask us. You do not have to submit it and you still have questions. Like, we are here to help you through the whole process. I would encourage you to utilize us as that support system. And please, 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 again, answer it completely. Because yes, on paper, a person could look at that person's application and say, what? They're a $10 million organization. Why would they need our $40,000? But at the end of the day, not every organization that comes through our academy is there to receive the $40,000. They're there to receive the training, right? So we have different types of entities that are trying to enter for different reasons. So don't discount yourself before trying.
Thank you. What does the application questions consist of, and how many questions is it roughly?
That's a great question. So our application is, I believe, roughly 25 to 30 questions. And they're pretty simple, right? So I think it's your name, your organization, the address, what supervisorial district you're a part of. So I know sometimes people do things by spas, but we want to know like your supervisorial district because that helps us a little bit better. We're asking, are you a 501c3 organization? If you are, please give us your EIN so that we can look that up on the IRS website. We ask who recommended you to the program. We're asking you why you want to join the Incubation Academy program. We're asking you what types of services you provide, what populations do you serve. Those two questions right there are probably the ones that get people not to get into the program because some people check all of the boxes because they think that if they check every population they serve and every um, like every service that they provide, that's going to make them a better candidate. But it doesn't, right? Because we need to know that you actually understand what it is that you do and who you serve. So we have a part in the application that says, for every population that you say that you serve, please express to us in detail what services you provide to that population. If you cannot answer that, then either you do not serve all of those individuals and you need to revise that statement, or you honestly don't know what you do yet, what you do yet, and we probably need to have a conversation about how that alignment looks like. We're also asking you questions about how you heard about JCOD, if you know what your mission is for your organization, those type of questions. And then the last things are kind of like consent questions that say, do you consent to being recorded? Because all of our sessions are recorded. Do you consent to being photographed? Do you agree to showing up to all of the sessions and actually being like a real participant? Do you consent to having your information given out? Because each cohort, we create sort of like a phone book so that you all can keep in contact with each other, but also from all 10 organizations that we have so far, all of their information and the services they provide is listed online so that other people can find you for resources. And so we need that consent as well. But please know that we do not put your address, we only put your zip code so that individuals know what supervisor or district you're a part of. We don't put addresses because we know that some individuals run their nonprofit out of their home.
Thank you. This next one's a two-part question. Can we use the funds to purchase and implement our CRM? And how is the executive coach assigned to us once we graduate?
Yes, a CRM is considered capacity building, so you are eligible to use a capacity building grant for that. And as far as the executive coach, so we work with another partner in recruiting coaches. And then once we have the coaches and they've been interviewed and vetted, they work with us to match you all accordingly, right? So like we're looking at various things. So there's a survey that will go out to you all that you will mention like what needs you have, what supports you need, what goals you're hoping to achieve after these 6 months. And then based off what you said and based off what we know with you as an organization, we will then correlate that with the coach. And then once you all are matched, the coaches reach out to you all. You're able to do 5 sessions a month for 1 hour. And yeah, for 6 months. So the goal is that you actually try to do each of those sessions. If you cannot, for some reason, do one of those hours in the following month, those hours are able to roll over. So whatever the total allotted amount is, you can still have that even if time needs to be rolled over.
Awesome, thank you. Let's see. Would an LA County organization be approved if they pay our organization to perform services, even though we are registered in another county?
Say that one more time.
Would an LA County organization be approved if they pay our organization to perform services, even though we are registered in another county?
So the org that wants to come through the program, are they the org that is in the other county or the org that is here but paying the other county?
I think if the individual who asked that question wants to raise their hand and we can unmute you, or if you want to put additional details in the chat, either way. While we wait for the additional information, we do have another question. Let's see. Can you recommend comparable support or opportunities for 501c3s who are fiscally sponsored?
That's a really good question. At the top of my head, I cannot. Unfortunately, I don't. Again, we used to allow fiscally sponsored orgs. But I will say too, while we do understand why some orgs are fiscally sponsored, the goal is always to make sure that you're not fiscally sponsored forever, right? Like we want you to become a self-sustaining entity. So yes, Ruth said you can go to from vision to reality, but from vision to reality is really going to it's the way from vision to reality is it does a couple of things, and now it's a 3-part series. One part is to help you understand if you're an organization that can be self-sustaining, need to be fiscally sponsored, or how to get your 501c3 organization status. Once you figure out if you're like in that area fiscally sponsored, there isn't much else that we can provide for you other than, they can give you like some resources. But if you are fiscally sponsored, we can't do too much more. Again, our goal is to make sure that 501c3 orgs move away from fiscally sponsorship. And also a lot of 501, a lot of entities that are fiscally sponsored, they don't already have their 501c3 status. So the fact that you do have your 501c3 status and are fiscally sponsored, you may want to sort of have a conversation about that, because you don't need to be both.
Thank you. Let's see, we have somebody who came off mute to add additional information to that last question. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. Looks like Cliff, I believe.
Yes, thank you so much for having this webinar. Very informational. So my question was, since I am a 501c3 in a different county, but I perform services for LA County nonprofits, are they allowed to be approved through your organization and then pay for our services, even though, we're not registered in Los Angeles County?
Um, so any organization that is within LA County, that's a 501c3 and does work in LA County, they're eligible for our program. Now, if they have certain services that they need to pay for, but they're not, as long as they're not fiscally sponsored by you, then yes, they can pay for a service that you provide to provide services for their communities, because they're here. But if they are fiscally sponsored by you, then no, one, because we don't accept fiscally sponsored, and two, because you're in another county, even if we did accept fiscally sponsored organizations, you being in another county, when we do our contract, it would not be with that organization, it would be with you, and we can't have contracts with individuals outside of LA County.
Yes. Okay, I understand that. Okay, thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you. And then Kimlin, I'm gonna unmute you.
Okay, hi. I applied for this program and
Mhm.
we didn't get accepted. And so I tried to meet with someone and I never got a meeting. I want to know what I did on the last application so I can do better on this application. Can I meet with someone?
Yeah, if you have time today, I can meet with you after this call.
Sure, I do. Thank you.
Of course.
Kimlin, if you'd like to put your email in the chat, I can make sure that that gets to Danielle to schedule something.
Yes, and the name of your organization so that we can have your app pulled up.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
Those were all the questions that we had, and we're a little close to time. Was there anyone else who wanted to ask one final question? Either unmute yourself or put it in the Q&A or the chat. Okay. Well, thank you. Oh, okay, so it looks like someone else said that they would also like some feedback. Feel free to drop your email in the chat, and then Danielle and her team can work on reaching out to you to schedule that meeting. Yeah, Carrie, I see your messages coming through. Feel free to drop your email and the name of your organization in the chat, please. Well, thank you so much, Danielle, and thank you everyone for attending and for your great questions. If you'd like to share your contact information, please do so. If not, you're good to go. Thank you all so much for attending today.
Thank you.
Danielle, I'm just gathering these emails for you, and then I will send these over.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much for doing this. This is great.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to
Okay.
give you this information, Ariel, so that you can send it out, the presentation, to them too.
Okay, that sounds great. Just making sure I get all of the emails. Danielle, apologies. Okay, I think I got everyone. Thank you all so much for attending, And Danielle will follow up with those of you who dropped your email. Thank you.